Okay. Welcome everybody to the stream. If you can hear me, I'm so sorry about the sound issue. This is I don't use StreamYard that often, so I'm kind of a newbie when it comes to this, but I had to use this as a kind of a last resort since I've been having some buffering issues. So if you can hear me all right, could you please put a 1 in the chat for me, please? And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got a great show. We have Tom with us. He's going to come on here in a minute. We are going to talk about the Brandon Lawson case. We're going to kind of go through the whole timeline incorporated with his theories and everything he's done. Some amazing research. He lives in the area. Apparently, I believe he shares the same birth date. So he's been invested in this case. And has spent just done some amazing research. So I'm happy to have him on. We'll go over a few things before we bring him on. Shout out to everybody. Thank you guys so much for putting the 1 in the chat. Thank you guys. So I first thing, I figured out why I've been having my issues with the stream, and it's something to do with my PC. So for an early birthday present, my cousin got me a new computer, which I'm going to set up after the stream. So it'll allow me to do streaming in 4K. It's actually a tower because right now I'm streaming from a laptop. So I'm super excited. We won't have those buffering issues anymore. And what's even more important is I'll be able to stream in higher quality, which will allow me to sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things at once here. it allowed me to have closed captions on for those people that are hard of hearing. Because I've told people that as soon as I get the proper internet, that I wanted to have closed captions on for those, because for those who can't have hard of hearing and want closed captions, unfortunately, unless it's streaming at high quality, it will not. The only way they can watch it is after it's uploaded, and it takes a while. So I want to be able to have people that want to interact with the chat, plus be able to read the captions. So that will be coming. So I'm super excited. Tracy, let's start the night off right. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you, Tracy M, so much for the $20. Thank you. So like I said, I'm kind of newer to the StreamYard, but I think we can adapt pretty quickly. So for those who are new to my channel, I do true crime and paranormal, a little bit of everything in all my videos. I like to do current missing person cases, and I also do requests. So you can email me if you have a friend or a family member who is missing and needs some more exposure. So just send me the details, and I will feature them in a future live show or video. So real quick, let's get into the missing. We've got Roberta Braden, 80 years old. She went missing on the 1st of May. And I believe today they were actually doing a search. So it says she was in the area of the Cambridge Heights. This is in Phoenix, Arizona. They even have a $5,000 reward out there. So if anybody's out in that area, there's also a little QR code here. So we'll do one more. This is Stephen Keith Robertson, 26 years old. He's been missing since September 5th of 2018. So almost 4 years, from Sonora, Texas. There is $50,000 reward possible. He's got brown hair, hazel eyes. Date of birth 92. Oh yeah, so age 26. Tall guy, 6'2". So there are those guys there, and this was actually sent in to me by Tom. So that's Sonora, Texas. All right. Let me back that out. So like I said, I am using StreamYard today. This will be the last time I use this laptop, and I'm switching over to my new PC I'll be setting up tonight. So I'm super excited for that. So we don't have to worry about buffering anymore. So, like I said, we've got our special guest, Tom. He's going to be kind of co-hosting with me. And like I said, this is all of his hard work that he's done. So let me bring him along. Hey, Tom.
Hey, guys. Hey, mob crew.
If you guys can hear Tom, can you put a 1 in the chat for me, please? Should be able to. Tom, if you want to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we'll start with just his background. Do you want to kind of give everybody just kind of idea of his background with Brandon?
So first thing I wanted to kind of go over is his PDF report.
Okay.
With all of Brandon's background check.
Yep.
It is claimed that Brandon had warrants for his arrest that night that were 2 years old, and therefore people claimed he wouldn't come out when the sheriffs arrived at his truck that night. And what the Coke County Sheriff's Office claims was Brandon Lawson's reason for disappearing, in which they claim he voluntarily came up missing. In other words, he decided to run off the face of the earth and never return. But he's done a heck of a job if that's the case.
Yeah. And now go ahead.
So when in fact, according to his arrest records, there was an incident on September the 27th of 2012 in Fort Worth, Texas, just 11 months prior to his disappearance, not 2 years as stated by his wife and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
The charges were for delivering a controlled substance to an undercover officer of 1 to 4 grams of meth. Ledessa, his wife, states in a YouTube interview he had gotten 2 speeding tickets within the prior months of his disappearance, and they didn't arrest him, and that she didn't think that the warrants were a big issue because of that. She also states that she had no idea what the charges were and why there was even a warrant out for him. Kyle says that the warrants were from 2 years prior, which this is only 11 months. 2 years prior in his interview, as he probably wasn't aware that there was charges on September the 27th of 2012. Either I think there was a lot going on that people close to him did not know about. Anytime someone takes a job as an informant, they are not allowed to discuss that with anyone. Most of the time, people won't even know that someone was arrested unless they pull up a background check on them. Brandon had kids and a wife that needed him to stay out of jail and to support them. I think nothing was going to get in the way of him taking care of the people that he loved.
Right. Makes sense. So the theory is that, kind of this little bust that he had 2 years prior, he kind of became a criminal informant, and that's going to kind of lead into your theories moving on of what could have happened to him on August 9th.
So October the 20th of 2011, this is before he came up missing.
Yep.
11 months actually before he got arrested for delivering a controlled substance. October the 20th of 2011 in San Angelo, there was an investigation launched to bust a major meth ring that was being operated out of San Angelo. This is 11 months before Brandon was arrested and on delivery of a controlled substance to an undercover agent. I think that Brandon was moved 4 hours away from Fort Worth to San Angelo on September 31st, 4 days later, as part of a deal to help with the ongoing investigation by way of informant help and to get his own charges dropped. I think law enforcement gets him a job as a front 4 hours away from his hometown where no one knows him or about his arrest on September the 27th of 2012, as he had no prior experience with this company that he went to work for or the area that he was randomly moving there.
Yeah.
On March 20th of 2013, there was a 22-month investigation. Just 5 months before Brandon Lawson's disappearance, the law enforcement gets a bust on a major meth ring of 15 people, all within a very close proximity of Brandon's home. We have to remember that Brandon had not touched drugs for 6 months prior to his disappearance, according to the statement from the people close to him.
Right.
Think about this. 6 months prior, he was known to be using. Then the next month, 15 people go to jail.
Yeah, interesting timing.
So if you pull up the map
yeah,
of the proximity of all the people that got busted, if you zoom in one time, you can point out where his house was, where he actually lived in the middle of all that.
Yeah, right in the middle.
And we had actually done background checks on every person on that list and that link, the 15 people, to see exactly where they lived when this bust happened. If we go 5 months later to August the 7th of 2013, this is 2 days prior to him coming up missing. Brandon stays gone from home all day and all night. I think he was already being followed, and he was trying to avoid them all day that day. And that is why he didn't come home. The next day, on August the 8th, he comes home at 11 o'clock that night. He is acting paranoid and arguing with his wife. I think he leaves his home to head to his dad's house 4 hours away in Fort Worth, Texas, in an attempt to remove himself from the situation, from San Angelo, and from the people that were following him.
That makes sense.
On August the 9th, 2013, the day that Brandon Lawson disappeared, most of these people that were in this 15-person bus just 5 months prior were all out, mostly out all on bail, awaiting trial, assumably. If you look at that story in the link, these same people are connected to the Aryan Brotherhood, Aryan Circle, a white supremacist. These gangs do not do a lot of dirty work for the Mexican mafia and the cartel. This is where it gets very complicated. The night Brandon came up missing, he had called his brother Kyle and told him he was being chased out of town. Kyle says he disregarded what Brandon was saying to him because Kyle thinks that Brandon is high and hallucinating. The next call Kyle gets from Brandon is to ask him to bring him some gas, as he had run out just 3.9 miles south of Bront, which is exactly 1.1 miles south of the Colorado River, if you're looking at the map.
Yep.
That dark night with a sliver of moon and a 5.6 mile an hour wind. So the people that kind of say that those noises were wind, that just debunks it. There's only 5 mile an hour wind that night. I've researched that.
Oh, interesting.
Very little visibility. Kyle arrives at the scene to help Brandon get some gas for his truck.
Oh, oops. Yep.
When Kyle pulls up, there's a cop already at the scene. As he approaches the cop, Brandon's phone, in quotation, is calling Kyle. Kyle answers. Now Kyle is talking to the cop in person and Brandon on the phone at the same time at the scene, not knowing that 20 minutes ago, Brandon had made a frantic 911 call with shotguns in the background, people talking in the background, and at him asking for the cops, saying he's being chased.
Yeah, let's play that real quick, just for some of the, because I'm seeing some people are new to this case, so
Yes, sir.
we'll play that real quick if that's all right,
Sure.
buddy. And this is not my version. We'll play the original version, and then when we get to the end, we'll play the one that I had with my some of the stuff that I tweaked. So for those that are new to this case, this is his 911 call. It is quite fascinating. Just before you start, so I've done a little bit of research on this, and I've kind of enhanced the audio. I'll save that towards the end for us. Oh, no sound. Oh, no sound.
Yeah, there's no sound on that video.
Oh, what? Okay, so why? Okay, let me. Oh, I apologize. That's weird. Let me open with. I wonder. Like I said, that I don't use StreamYard, so let me try this again. Let me know if you can hear it. That's weird. Can you hear it? Can you hear it, Tom?
No, I can't.
Okay. Really? All right. We might have to. Why wouldn't there be audio? Okay. Well, I'll look into that while you're continuing the story. I'll look in and see what's going on. That is weird. That makes no sense. I mean, I don't know. Let me just go to audio real quick. Mic, speaker. That doesn't make sense. Stereo audio. Okay. Well, I don't want to hate the screw up the thing. We'll just keep going, and then we'll save the thing for the end because I had my video playing and you guys could hear it. So we'll continue on. The 911 call is fascinating, and we'll play it again at the end. So after the 911 call, go ahead, Tom.
So at the scene, I think Kyle is distracted by the cop, talking to the cop and talking to Brandon at the same time on the phone. And he didn't realize he was actually talking to the killer, which would explain the call being placed 20 minutes after Brandon's 911 call.
Mm-hmm.
I had mentioned Aryan Brotherhood earlier because of what Kyle says was said on the call. In the call, supposedly Brandon says, "I see you. One time run. Where's your pride, mother effer?" This immediately hangs up. I also hear a white guy in the 911 call say, "Protect yourself," in the middle of the call. The phrase "Where's your pride, mother effer?" is Aryan Brotherhood dialect and prominently used by them. Even Kyle says in an interview in Crawlspace YouTube channel that Brandon has never said anything like this to him before. Also, Kyle, knowing that Brandon Lawson was under duress already, could have made him just think that Brandon's voice had changed to a different octave because of this. I think the cell service was bad out there, so there are some things that are said in the 911 call and the call that Kyle repeats of the conversation on the call at the scene. I think instead of one time run, they said, "I'm going to tell you one time, you better run."
Oh.
And this cell phone service breakup makes him hear one time run. That's what I think, because that makes no sense, right?
Yeah. Interesting.
So the cell phone service breaks up, and it breaks up the conversation. And Kyle replies to that part about the one-time run, "I'm not running. I've done nothing wrong." This is word verbatim by Kyle. Then they say, "Where's your pride, mother effer?" This is in response to say, "Do you have any will to live?" That's what they would say to someone, "Do you have any pride? We just told you to one time run, and you're just saying, why do I want to run?" And they're saying, "Where's your pride?
Right.
Do you have any will to live?" That makes more sense to me than one time run and then where's your pride. Just 8 minutes after Brandon's 911 call and 12 minutes before Sheriff Neal and Kyle arrive at the truck, there was also a 911 call made by a trucker.
Yep.
I would love to be able to hear that call, as I think it may hold some key evidence in this case. Ledessa states in an interview with Missing Podcast page that she had seen big fresh tire marks in the road where someone had slammed on their brakes when she went to the scene the next morning. This could have possibly been the trucker or the persons that actually chased him into the pasture. There's a 20-minute window before the cop gets there after Brandon Lawson's 911 call, and 36 minutes after Brandon Lawson had run out of gas. As the sheriff's office had dispatched him north of Bront first, confused and looking for the vehicle in the road, the trucker's call gives the sheriff's office the actual exact location of Brandon's truck, which is south of Bront, 3.8 miles. They send dispatch another sheriff south of Bront, Sheriff Neal,
Back here.
who was also on duty, the only other sheriff on duty. There's only two on duty.
Mm-hmm.
In Brandon Lawson's 911 call, all he had said was, "I'm out here headed towards Abilene on Bront side." Since Brandon Lawson had no idea where the operator was located, he couldn't give her a more detailed geographical location as to how to find him. While Kyle and the sheriff were at the scene, I think that Johnny Garcia, and at least two other guys were out in the pasture with Brandon Lawson and were staging the crime scene and making multiple calls and texts from Brandon Lawson's phone. As we see this happen so many times in so many other cases where they use the victim's phone to throw off the investigation when it comes to actually getting an investigation started or prompted to get started. Another important thing I wanted to point out is that his remains were found 0.97 miles from his truck.
Yeah, let me go to that real quick to kind of catch up here, because I put that towards the end. I think it's okay right there. So this is where his truck was approximately, and then I just did 0.96, but this circle makes 0.97, so this would be your 0.97. So this is kind of the area that you were talking about.
So, according to a source timeline, he had ran out of gas at 12:34 a.m. At 12:35 a.m., he is calling his brother to tell him he is out of gas, needs gas, and to hurry. At 12:44 a.m., he is calling his wife 3 times back to back with no answer, as she had left her phone charging in the car. At 12:50 a.m., he is calling 911 in a frantic. The point is, this is rough terrain with multiple fences at night with low visibility, mesquite trees, huge cactus plants. To be able to travel 0.97 miles through that in 16 minutes through this terrain in August with high vegetation levels, and to make 4 phone calls along the way, one of them being for gas, which means he isn't moving from the site until someone forces him to leave that site, seems to be a little too much travel.
So before we get too ahead, so someone asked who's Johnny, and you meant to say Garcia.
Yeah. So we'll get into that, more of that in just a minute.
Sure. Yep.
That's going to be the incident 2 weeks after. So you'll get a little more insight on who this guy is.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is a theory. So my point is, I think these guys killed him closer to his vehicle, then moved him to another location where he was ultimately found. I think his phone was ditched somewhere else between where where this happened and where they took him. This is where it gets really complicated.
Get caught up here.
So if we pull up the gangland
document
story.
Yep.
This is actual court document story that they had printed in the San Angelo newspaper.
Yeah, let me get a. Okay, yeah, got it up here. Just getting to the one where you've got it highlighted, like the spots that you.
Yeah,
there we go. Yep, there we go.
So the coincidence about this incident. So basically, what had happened, there was a double homicide, about 2 or 3 blocks from Brandon's home. So and this is 2 weeks after Brandon disappeared. So 2 weeks after Brandon disappeared, and just a little over 2 weeks after Brandon disappeared, there was a double homicide a few blocks from Brandon's home. The address of this incident where the double homicide happened was 1516 Greenwood Street, apartment number 11. Brandon Lawson lived at 2322 Tunis Street, just a few blocks away. The incident was carried out with shotguns involved, which is what I believe to hear in the 911 call near the end of the call and right before he says, "I got shot."
Yep. Oh, gosh.
In the court trial of this incident, it is said that the killers told a girl witness that there at the scene that there were orders to do this. In other words, they were hired or someone told them, they had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It is also mentioned that there were originally 2 other guys with the shooters originally at the scene, and they had left before the actual shooting took place. The 2 guys arrested were 18 and 19 years old. This could explain one part of Brandon Lawson's call when he says, "I got the first guy." Since Brandon was a big guy at 230 pounds, it is easy to think that he would be able to get the first guy if they were 18, 19-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Even if they did have guns. But if they were close to him, just kind of,
yeah,
do something. We're taking orders. We're taking orders to take out Brandon. Out of these guys, we have a background check in PDF. That year, this guy had 9 major charges, anywhere from drug-related to assault with a deadly weapon, and this incident on September 1st of 2013, this incident of capital murder of more than one person.
And this is Johnny Garcia, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
So, he had a hell of a rap sheet.
Yeah, prior
and after Brandon Lawson's disappearance. You have to keep in mind that San Angelo is actually a low crime rate town, and that most incidents of this seriousness are concentrated to small groups of people. So it's not like Dallas or Detroit.
Yeah.
Metro. It's nothing like that. It's it's a 100,000 people town, but it's a retirement town more or less, and there is bad groups of people there, but they're concentrated to small areas. So it's not like there's someone capable of carrying out a heinous crime like this on every street corner, like Detroit per se.
Yeah.
So, that's why this kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah, totally. And I, like I said, I apologize, guys. I'm kind of all over the place. This is so frustrating because I can't use my normal OBS system that I normally do. For those that are just kind of tuning in, I'm using StreamYard because this is gonna be the last time I use my laptop. For early birthday present, my cousin got me a new PC, and so after this stream, I'm going to be setting that up. It's set to do 4K. I will not have any more problems with buffering. So so this is so obviously I couldn't go live with the OBS because it would just buffer right away. And so I'm using StreamYard, which I'm not very familiar with StreamYard. So I apologize for the visuals and not the usual setup. This is just kind of a one-time thing just to kind of get by because, he did all this work and I didn't want to have to back out last minute. So but we'll get through it, and I'll see if I can fix this audio because I want to play the 911. So sorry, Tom, to interrupt, but so anyway, so Tom's just saying that he believes it's a good possibility that this Johnny Garcia guy could have been running with this group that was chasing Brandon Lawson, and he has a rap sheet to kind of back up the motive, and
there's one more little kicker.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think this kid was given orders and assisted in Brandon Lawson's disappearance. He had the link where they can pull up, the case to kind of see how out there, how dangerous this guy really is. If you read the trial details, he had actually point blank shot a girl in the chest and point blank shot another guy in the face with a shotgun that night. I mean,
that's crazy.
He's not he has no F's to give.
Yeah.
So something that stuck out to me is this kid had gotten out on bail on capital murder charges of multiple persons, which is going to cost a lot of money. And he had no job or family with that kind of money. To tell me he isn't connected to someone with endless funds makes no sense.
So he suggesting that he could be part of the mafia. Yep.
I know for a fact that he made bail due to the fact that this incident happened on September the 1st of 2013. His trial wasn't until February 19th of 2015, which is about 2 years later.
Yeah.
And he had gotten into more trouble in 2014, 2015, according to his PDF background check. Trouble several more times up until the time that he had gone to prison, and he's still in prison. So I'm going to pause right there. This is going to be freestyle, but whenever they send these guys to do this stuff, they'll use these young kids to do things like this because they know that whenever they go to jail, that they always have a possibility of parole.
Uh-huh.
Usually whenever it's a 35, 36, whatever old man, and something like that happens, there's usually no possibility of parole. So they use these young guys knowing that they're not going to be in prison for the rest of their life. So
yeah,
that's just something I wanted to throw out there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just kind of reading the comments, trying to multitask here. I can't wait. This will be the last time I use this thing. This is so frustrating to use. It's so used to using one system, and now it's just I feel naked because but you're doing great, and it totally makes sense because him getting off with these charges, with what sounds like a slap on the wrist when these kind of charges he's had, and with the rap sheet that he's had previous,
and was able to make bail.
Yeah, that's
if we think about like the Troy Driver case, for instance, something fresh.
Yeah,
I mean, he's in prison. Like he went from possibility of having bail set to no bail.
Yeah,
for this guy to have the connections to be able to get bailed out, I can't imagine what the bail was set at. I mean, you're probably talking $1 million bail on a double homicide like that.
Right. Yes, I'm just kind of showing the Aryan Brotherhood.
So both of these incidents, the 15-person drug bust and the incident that happened 2 weeks after Brandon's disappearance, were both meth related and in close proximity of Brandon's home. The fact that it would take a very savage and sinister person to commit the crime that was committed in what I think to be both instances, both Brandon and the incident that happened 2 weeks after Brandon. This theory gives the killer capability, connection, purpose, motive, proximity, time, the nature of the incident, and the cognitive deviance and the ability to carry out such a heinous crime of this nature. When Brandon remains were found by the Texas Rangers on February the 2nd of 2022, it was immediately listed as an open homicide. They say it was so that they could get more help, which may be partially true, but I think they seen definite signs of foul play, and this is why they declared it an open homicide. We're not sure about that, but I mean, that makes more sense to me than just to throw an open homicide on a case for extra help. So what makes me think that there was some foul play is they found a partial skull, no teeth.
Oh, yeah.
These guys do not play around. I've done some extensive research on these gangs. Aryan Brotherhood does dirty work for Mexican mafia in exchange for money, legal counsel, protection from law enforcement, and protection for incarcerated members while they are in prison. When these guys kill, they use shotguns most of the time because they are untraceable.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never even heard of something like that, and that makes sense.
And a shotgun also makes sense for the fact that it was very dark that night, and when you use a shotgun, the pellets spread for a wider target range with less power or impact. A rifle or pistol would have to be a more precise shot to the target, but if you did hit something, it's not going to be responsive for long. A shotgun slows them down enough that they are still responsive, but are slowed down enough that they can catch them, which is like in this 911 call, we hear them say, I got shot. And then, the call continues and then, So,
and then also we hear that from what Ladessa or Kyle, that after he spoke to after the 911 call, he says he tells Kyle that he's bleeding, right?
Yep.
If that is, obviously, if he is stuck.
Oh no, he had said he was bleeding earlier.
Yeah.
Scratched up on mesquite or trees or something.
Oh, okay.
But he also had told him he was being chased, and Kyle's like, "Nah, you're all right."
Yeah.
He thought he was being dramatic and hallucinating.
Right.
So when these guys bury their victims out of a rule of respect and to hide the body, they remove the teeth to prolong investigation and conceal important DNA evidence. The things I know for sure in this call, I hear gunshots. I hear other people talking. I hear Brandon say, I got shot. I hear him say, help me. I hear him say he is being chased. His phone was never found. His remains were found in that pasture with no dental DNA.
Yeah, that's...
He said he said he needs a cop, and he called 911.
So just what I think of the second you find in a skull is I think of Brian Laundrie case. Obviously he hadn't been out there as long as Brandon Lawson, but he had all his teeth in there, and that's how they were able to, one way to identify Brian Laundrie. So just kind of give people an idea that it's kind of strange that his no teeth, right?
Even if you find, even if you're, arrowhead hunting and you found an old skull cow skull or, coyote, the teeth are there.
Yeah.
It'd been sitting there 10 years. Teeth are in it.
Right.
So, but for all these things to exist and align inside of a 38-second phone call are less likely than winning a lottery. To agree that this theory is that he had succumbed to the elements and knowing that Brandon Lawson had survival skills seems impossible to me. To believe that those are not gunshots and that they are the sound of a passing vehicle on a desolate road at 12:50 a.m. at the exact same moment he is saying he's being shot at seems impossible.
Yeah.
To believe that he is intoxicated to the level that he is imagining all these things seems impossible with how he responds in a few of the moments during the call. To think that a dangerous group of people could have a motive to carry out these orders and to do this seems logical to me. I think Brandon Lawson was a great dad to his kids and a great husband to his wife. Anything outside of that does not matter as to the kind of person that he was and has been his entire life. I mean, even during Crime Con last week, Jason Watts had said how Brandon had stepped in whenever he was in high school and had taken up for him, and that was one of the reasons why he felt like, hey, he needed to repay Brandon by finding him, and that was one of his drives, one of his motives to find him.
Yeah.
So, if there was foul play involved out there, and I think there was, and for the cops to have done as little as they have all these years is complete and total gross negligence.
I agree. Agree.
There should be justice served to the people responsible for this if it is found that there needs to be. Thanks to Jason Watts and thanks to you, Chris, for doing this and all that has done voluntary work to help find Brandon. Thanks to the hundreds of people on YouTube and other sources to keep his story alive. I hope his kiddos and family get complete and total closure on this. And that's all of the story that I had, but I mean, there's more to it. And
yeah, we were gonna do another part just because with this last minute StreamYard and then also I've been that way. I can't wait to have this new PC because that's gonna open some more doors because like I said, I want to break down that 911 call even more. Like I said, I'm not an expert when it comes to audio, but I have some skill to it that I can expand those segments. And so we're gonna try to play this again. So I'm thinking, let me back us out here. Okay, and let's try this one more time. Kick us back in. I'm going to start to play it. Let me know if you can hear it. Let me try playing mine. Let's
my
see.
camera's not as fancy as yours.
What's that?
I said my camera's not as fancy as yours.
Oh, actually, you know what? The camera I've got here, it's I think it was like $30-$40 tops. Just Amazon, everything I get. But let's see. I guess you'll be able to tell me if you can hear it or not.
Nope.
No.
No.
It's playing.
Yeah, it's
real.
Nothing.
Okay. Oh my! I don't understand because people actually heard the intro once I put us on.
Yeah.
So. Oh, this is why this will be a one-time thing with this. So. Let me do stop sharing. Let's do this because I got it to work. Okay, so share. All right, let me try. Okay, I know 2 different ways. Oh, share system audio. Oh, there it is. Oh, wow. Okay, I forgot to click this little button. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Probably not. Okay, I fixed it. All right. Here we go. Okay, you should be able to hear it. Let me get my mouse here. All right.
Yes.
Okay, what the hell?
Breaking up real bad.
Yeah. Whoa. Stop.
38 seconds.
Okay, sorry, guys.
911.
It's because it's a lot going on. Okay, now I'm gonna play it. Here we go. Should work fine.
0, 50, and
that's just not the
38
video.
seconds. 911 emergency.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. It's like we're just pushed some guys over. Right here going towards Javelin on both sides. My truck ran out of gas. There's one car here. You guys taking pictures to the woods. Quick flirting.
Okay, now run that
Right,
right.
one I talked to him. Hi, so you're in his home.
Ah, you ran into him. Okay.
That's the first guy.
You need an ambulance?
Yes, no, I need the call.
Okay. Is anybody hurt? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Okay, so everybody can hear that. I see some people putting ones in the chat. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right, so that's just the original. Now I'm gonna play. This is a video I made, and I ran it through some filters. This was just kind of early experiments, but in a minute you'll see where I added a shotgun audio into it, and it lines up to a certain part of it because Tom feels that they, if this is, some kind of gang related, it's something that they typically use as shotguns. And I just happened to find a shotgun, some guy shooting a shotgun from a certain distance away. So I copied the audio of it, and then I overlaid it onto this video or onto this 911 call, and it lines up perfect. It's pretty crazy. So
9, 2000.
okay, so I'm going to play the regular audio. This is with filters. I ran it through some filters and stretched it. It gives the audio more body. It's something that I'm going to be doing more and more to this 911 call to kind of figure out what's going on. Tom, do you want to? I'm going to play bits of this, and do you want to kind of share what you think is being said in some of these?
Sure.
Okay, so I'll play like the first part and then pause and let you kind of.
13, 0, 50, and 38 seconds. 911 emergency.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. It's like we're just pushed some guys over.
Okay, so what?
He says, yes, I'm in the middle of a field. Stapers, I have no idea what the hell that is, but
So we kind of discussed. Do you think that he might have been, trying to talk fast, and might have trying to say state troopers, and he just said stapers?
Yeah, I think possibly. I mean, that's what a lot of people claim. It's hard to say. I mean, I don't want to claim that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was probably running 100 miles an hour in his mind. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
That he was running some words together. Was he completely sober?
Yeah.
Probably not. So the possibility that he's running through some of his words is a possibility. As far as seeing things, he doesn't say anything in the call to where he sounds like he's hallucinating.
Yeah, there's no cars in the tree or
exactly.
The cows are dressed up.
Did you ever find that video?
I did. Yeah. They're talking.
Wild.
Oh, yeah. I feel bad, but yeah, they're seeing cows, but they think the cows are people dressed up.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
I mean, I don't hear any of that
right
of mannerism.
And you point out a good. Also, you point out something interesting. Is that you notice he's responding to the questions, and he's almost responding almost ahead of time, and we'll get to that in just a second.
So a lot of people from other areas, whenever he says yeah, in Texas, yeah is yes. So some people think he says yeah or but he's saying yeah. That's yes in Texas. So yeah.
Interesting. Okay, we'll play the next part and then break it down.
Here's going towards Javelin on both sides. Tow truck ran out of gas. There's one.
Okay, so that one's pretty basic. Let me back that up. So he's just basically saying where he's at or trying to give.
So he's saying, I'm right here going towards Abilene, and it sounds like he says both, but he's actually saying Bront. So if you live in San Angelo, which I live nearby, if you're going from San Angelo to Abilene, there's a Winters side and there's a Bront side. There's two routes to take. If you look at the map, there's Winters side, Bront side. He's saying Bront side because that's what people that live in San Angelo say. Anybody from San Angelo knows that. They know, hey, if we're headed to Abilene, we're either going Bront side or Winter side. That's what he's saying.
Wow.
For a fact, that's what he's saying right there.
Interesting.
So I'm out here headed towards Abilene on the Bront side, not the Winter side. It's the same travel time, different highways. So to go Winter side, you're going to go a little further to the east of San Angelo, and it'll be like a straight north shot all the way to Abilene. So if you go the Bront side, it's kind of cuts at an angle towards Abilene. So and they both end up in the same spot in Abilene. So that's what he's talking about right there. He says, I'm out here headed towards Abilene on Bront side.
Okay.
Sounds like he says both, but I know that's what
that's why I put it in there because and like I said, I put just the basic words that the ones in orange I'm like kind of like the ones that I'm pretty darn sure, and then the ones in red are kind of maybes.
There's one car here. You got to take the pictures to the woods. Quick party.
Okay.
There's one car here. It's just like it reads. That's right.
I got that right. All right.
Yep.
So one car here. There's one guy chasing me through the woods.
Yeah, woods, pastured. I mean, if you're getting chased, I mean, you're not thinking pastured. I mean, like I said, I don't think he was completely.
Plus, it's dark. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay. This is where it kind of gets tricky.
Okay, now run that by.
When I talk to him, hi, so you're in his home.
So that one's okay.
So,
go ahead.
Okay, so this is tricky right here.
Yeah.
I think he actually says this part backwards. I think he says I think he meant to say I totally ran into him and I tried to talk to them. That's what I think he means to say right there. He gets them, flips them. So he says I totally ran into him and I tried to talk to them.
Right. Interesting. Makes sense. Okay. Sorry I'm not highlighting messages right now, guys, as much as I usually do. It's kind of in a different area, and so I apologize. I'm still reading your guys' comments, but I'm just sorry I'm not highlighting them as much as I normally would.
So basically, I think his mind's racing 1,000 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
I think he actually says that backwards. I think he meant to say, I totally ran into him and then I tried to talk to them.
Right. Okay. All right. Here we go.
I don't think
oops. Oh, sorry, buddy.
The operator thinks that it's an auto accident. That's why she says, you ran into him.
Yeah. Right.
Because of the way he says it.
Yep.
If he would have said it the other way around, she wouldn't have taken it as a car accident, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's go to the next part.
Okay. I'm going to back it up because they kind of sneak up there.
Hi, so you're in his home.
You ran into him. Okay.
That's the first guy.
Okay, we'll pause that there, and that's where I figure out something, but that's going to be the next one.
A lot of stuff going on in the middle of all this. I hear protect yourself in the background.
Yeah.
I hear him say, I just got shot, or I got shot. while she's saying, "Do you need an ambulance?"
Okay, let me play this like that whole little part there.
No.
You ran into him. Okay.
That's the first guy.
You need an ambulance?
Yeah, no, I need the cops.
Okay.
So right here, this is important.
Yep.
He says, "I got shot." I know I hear that for a fact. That's very clear.
Yeah.
She says, "Do you need an ambulance?" And he says, "Yeah." And flips gears within a split second and says, "No, I need the cops."
And let me play that.
So between "Do you need an ambulance?" There's a point there where he says, "Yeah." And in the "yeah," you can hear the whimper in his voice where his voice kind of draws down. So right before that, he says, "I got shot." And then he says, "Yeah," like that. And his voice is drawing down at that moment. He's in pain.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
Even
he does.
Even with him in pain, his mind's still racing. And he says, "Yeah, no, I need the cops." So whenever he says "yeah," he's answering a question that never even got asked.
Right.
Like she's first person, like she's there at the scene. That's the way he's saying "yeah," like she's seen him just get shot at, right?
Right.
So her thinking is, hey, or his thinking is, she's going to ask me, "Did you just get shot at?"
Right.
And his response is, "Yeah, no, I need the cops." Because then he realized that she asked, "Do you need an ambulance?"
Right.
So I mean, full fast swing right there. That's a little too quick to be a
yeah. Someone's hallucinating.
Seeing cars in the tree.
Yeah. Oops. Oh. Oh.
Waking up.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me.
Is anybody hurt?
Hi, show your intro.
I don't know why it's doing that. This is weird. I'm sorry, guys. I don't. Oh, I think I might have hit fast forward or something. Uh-oh. My VLC player's up. Hold on. It's not responding. Like I said, this is gonna be the last time, guys, with this PC.
Doing great.
I just completely pooped out on me. Let me try. But the stream's going good though. Yeah, glitchy. Okay, the stream's going good, which is I'm really surprised. So it's not. Okay, let me just close everything so we're kind of done with this stuff here. This will kind of that way we're. And then I want to leave this photo up because I took this photo here, Tom. This is the bridge. I'm sure you know why I. Good with the whole wind blowing under it.
The length of that car compared to the bridge.
So it's it's not that big.
Yeah, that bridge, there's only about 30, maybe 40 feet of actual bridge that you can actually go under. So for them to claim that the three sounds at the end of the call are shotguns, people going over the bridge, makes no sense to me because those ribs are every 30 feet. So you can actually count the ribs here. So if you look at that picture really close, you can see one right there in front of the car. That's one rib. And then 30 foot later, you see another one. That's only two ribs. You got one further back behind the car.
Yeah.
So those ribs are only every 30 feet.
Interesting.
That's what they say that those noises are. Well,
yeah.
I mean, you would literally have to be right under the bridge for that to be.
And then have a bunch of cars going through it at the same time.
And if something like this had happened underneath that bridge, you know what they're going to do with the guy? He's going in the water, and nobody ever finds him.
Right.
So,
I did a little distance here. This is over 1.2. Well, this would probably be about 127 miles from the truck.
Yep.
So that'd be a long way for him to go on foot.
Yeah.
In that span of time to go that far, in that span of time to make it under the bridge.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I'd have to look at the timing, but I bet I could officially debunk that if I can get some
well,
some
and
timelines on that.
if they're in a vehicle and he's on foot, he's not going to make it that far.
No.
He has no reason to run to that bridge if someone's not actually chasing him.
Right.
I mean,
Okay,
there's no reason for him to be in the pasture if someone's not chasing him. I mean, if I run out of gas and I'm waiting on the side of the highway, guess where I'm going to be whenever they show up with a gas can?
Right.
9-2.
Okay, here we go.
No matter what in the world is going on around me, I'm not going to be in a pasture full of cactus, fence, boars, coyotes, snakes, on and on. Makes no sense. If you're not in imminent danger, why in the heck would you run into a field like that? That makes zero sense.
Okay, so I want to play. Finish this so people can understand what we're talking about. This is what people claim to be the bridge coming up right here.
Is anybody hurt? Hello? Hello? Hello?
So yeah, I'm gonna pause it there. So I doubt that's any kind of bridge sound. I don't know why VLC's just not wanting to work with me here. Well, no, okay, maybe it is. Okay, this is the part that I wanted to show. This is the shotgun thing. Okay. So this is I just lost my mouse. This is sorry guys. This is my laptop like literally just pooping out for the last time.
It picked a good day to do it.
Yeah, I'm so glad my cousin got me that. I'm so lucky. I think what I did is I think I just kind of this laptop was made to have it was supposed to be able to when I got it, it said it was supposed to do mid-level streaming. It was like a mid-level streaming PC or laptop. And I never really tried to run it at its highest peak, but apparently it just I've done something to it to where it's not playing, it's not working properly. So and now VLC's not playing properly. Oh, that's a bummer. Let me try opening it up one more time. Because I did want to play a part of that Ladessa interview as well. We had a chance.
9-2,000.
Okay, cool. All right. So this is a 12 gauge shotgun control test. Sorry, guys. And now I'm going to add it into the 911 call.
Okay.
And that's those at the same time. They almost. So this is a slowed down version of it as well. And those just matched right up. I mean, it's crazy.
9-2.
So I'm gonna stop that there. So I will be working more on that 911 call, especially expanding the help me part, because it definitely there's something there you can tell when you look at audio through Audacity.
Definitely.
You can see where where there's audio and where there's nothing there, and there's definitely something there. So, and I don't think it's just the wind or anything. And you just confirmed, what was it, 5 miles?
Yep.
So yeah, so I'll be playing with that some more. So if you guys have any questions, I would put them in the chat now, and I'll kind of pause it here. And
another thing we have to remember on the, I mean, this is recorded through 911. First person is Brandon's phone, so cell phones are designed to block out crowd noise, stuff like that, so that you can talk to people whenever you're at a concert or whatever.
Right.
So, I mean, shots, people say, "Oh, that ain't a gunshot." Well, I mean, they don't understand how the audio works on a cell phone. Then, so to be drowned out makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and yeah, hopefully, are you still going to try to get those tests?
Yes, definitely.
No, that'll be
a
cool.
second person.
Yeah.
Phone call. Will be at the scene of the shotgun shots, and then the other phone will be recording the shotgun shots. We're going to try to mimic the timing for the last 3 shots. At 90, 180, and at the phone. So
yeah, and thank you.
The test that Steve did was really awesome. That gave me the idea to do this. So
yeah, and yeah, thank you, Steve. I think he's in here. He might. I know sometimes he goes on with Marvin Frank, and I'm not sure if they're going live right now, but yeah, Steve's in there. Thank you, Steve. Steve is retired law enforcement and has been giving me some tips behind the scene. It's really cool to have somebody in that knows that kind of that has that knowledge. It's awesome to get some ideas from him, and he's always sharing different the way that a law enforcement look at it, or a detective, and it's amazing because obviously I'm not a detective, and I do have my ways of looking at some things, but I'm nobody special. And
specialists in any field that we're at, no one's gonna come tell me how to do my job, just like I wouldn't be able to. This stuff, with investigation stuff like this, it's just we're putting common sense things to put it together.
Yeah, that's
right. Hopefully something comes up to close this case.
Yeah. So if you have any questions for Tom, I would if you want to put a question in the chat, because like I said, I'm sorry I haven't been interacting with the chat as I usually do, because this is just a one-time thing. Well, I wouldn't say a one-time thing, but I can't use my regular Streamlabs.
Michelle says I thought he had been clean for 6 months. He was an informant to that. So he had been clean for 6 months before he came up disappearing. 1 month after that, there's a 15-person drug bust in San Angelo. So I thought that was a little strange.
Yeah. Let's see. Shirley says, if Brandon was an informant, law enforcement is not going to say anything. I think he was, and that's why he's asked for the cops.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I mean, that's we were talking about that before we started this live.
Yeah. Tom N., do you have any opinion on any meth use?
I think that he was. How much? I'm not sure. I mean, I've never done it myself. I couldn't tell you exactly how it would affect you.
Yeah.
But I do know that there was a couple of times during that call where it didn't sound like he was to the point where he was seeing, or he was thinking that he was getting chased by imaginary things. Is it possible? Yes. For him to run 0.97 miles, I don't think so.
Yeah. I've never done meth, but I've been around some people and
Yeah.
only a few times, so I'm not no expert, but the only thing that I could tell is they're kind of antsy and they're very talkative, but that's it's just kind of it's something to me. It seemed like they're on speed. It's basically an upper, but
So Candy says at the beginning, it sounds like he says state troopers pulled some guys over.
oh yeah, I saw that.
That means maybe that that they are chasing him because he ran into them. So my answer to that one, so in Kyle's 911 call, Kyle says that Brandon had told him on his way on his travel out there, he had called Kyle and said, hey, there's these guys chasing me. The state trooper done pulled one guy over. And basically that's why Kyle thought, hey, he's hallucinating, seeing things. Kyle knew for a fact that he had been doing drugs the day prior. So he just thought, hey, he's flipping out. But the fact that he was driving a vehicle 70 miles an hour for 35 minutes before he come to a stop, he was cognitive enough to make all these phone calls to get gas, 911 calls saying he was being chased. The fact that he was able to even tell them remotely where he was at. He knew he was headed towards Abilene. He tells the 911 operator that. So if you listen, people compare it to the Nebraska call. So if you compare it to the Nebraska call, they were on the phone for 4 hours with 911. They had no idea where they were at.
And they kept saying that they were given like their original address of where they do live, but they weren't even
right
in that area.
And Brandon's not doing any of this. I mean, he actually knew he was on 277 headed toward Abilene. He knew he had ran out of gas. He knew he was in the middle of a field. He knew all of these things. And for them to, like his brother probably thought, hey, he's out of his gourds and that's what's going on. Whatever. I don't think that was the case. I think that was he on it? Probably. Was he to the point where he was seeing things? I don't think so. Where was he to the point where he's going to think someone's chasing him through the woods after he'd been telling his wife, his brother twice, and the 911 operator 4 times that he's getting chased?
Yeah.
And then he comes up missing permanently with what I think are gunshots in the call. It's chances of doing that are, lottery stuff.
Right. Here's one I seen earlier. That's for you, buddy.
Okay.
You know anything about that?
Oh man, I've heard that. I don't know that he is a cop. I know that she's remarried. I know what the guy's last name is. I'm not going to repeat it. Like everybody's going to go looking her up and stuff.
Yeah.
So. But I don't know that he's a cop. I don't know that at all. So I've heard that on Reddit a couple of times, seen it a couple of times on Reddit. How much volume it holds, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's just that seems kind of weird, especially because they had kids. Would she do that to her? The father of her kids.
But she's definitely not married to the cop involved in the case.
Yeah.
This guy has nothing to do with the case. Yeah. This guy's from Fort Worth. If he is a cop, probably a beat cop, sheriff, or local law enforcement where she's living now in Dallas. So has nothing to do with, he's not like a Texas Ranger or nothing like that.
Oh, what Let's see. It's all good. I don't think they got what I was saying anyways left of that. I wasn't talking about drugs. What was your question, Coastal Butterfly? We'll answer it. I'll find it. If you can repost your question, we'll definitely
Yes,
answer it.
definitely.
I was kind of looking through here. This is the one nice thing is StreamYard does have a little bit easier thing when you're doing the comments, but other than that, it's I don't know, it's just something new. I got to pull this up. Great news on the new computer. Happy early birthday, Chris. Great job, Tom. Thanks to you too. Thank you, Gregor Stein, for $10. Thank you, yes, and thank you, Tom.
Yeah, there was a question I think just a minute ago. Okay, Coastal Butterfly says, I was saying it sounded like he said on 911, state troopers pulled some guys over. Could state troopers have been chasing him? I don't think they were. I think so. What I think happened possibly is that there was more than one car chasing him. And if Brandon and one of the other cars and the other car, if one of them got pulled over, which is what he says in the call, I think, that would make sense. The other, Brandon and the other car kept going.
Interesting. Here's Steve. Probably under the influence at the time altercation occurred with others. He died from injuries received. I only have a different perspective of 911 call and injuries received. Yeah, and I still have your emails, Steve. And like I said, I'm going to be breaking that down. That'll be a whole video where we're just going to take a look at the 911 call. I'm going to run it through some filters and, it'll be kind of like everybody can kind of be involved and we can kind of try to see what others hear. Because I know that we had somebody that was like partially blind or blind. And I think that was the first time we covered the case, Tom. And it was amazing. Like she said, I can hear this, this, and this. And, for somebody that's being blind, they can't see the words on the screen. So it's like,
right.
That's amazing. A few more. At the beginning, it sounds like he says state troopers pulled some guys over. That means that maybe they are chasing him because they ran into him.
Well, in the call, he says there's one car here.
Yeah.
So for him to reference there's one car here, that means there was more than one car involved.
Right.
So for him to say that speaks volume to what he's saying. Hey, state trooper pulled some guys over. He could have pulled over the first car and the other car was still chasing him.
Yes, I don't want to go. Yeah, but that's what I've been kind of building on. Is it something along those lines?
And like someone had said a minute ago, that if he was an informant, it'll never get cracked. They're not going to come out and say that. I mean, that's admitting they didn't protect the guy.
Oh, yeah. Steve says, we could have Steve on as well. We could set that up. We can have all three of us up there. For sure. I'd love to do that. Like I said, I'm setting up a new system, so I'm totally stoked to I'll be able to have people on and not worry about this whole buffering thing. But now I'm getting more familiar with StreamYard, which will allow me to kind of be flexible when I need to have guests on. So this is good to be doing this. It kind of gives me
So to what Steve said just a minute ago, Tom has connections with the family. I really don't have connections. Too many. I have connections with a lot of people from San Angelo that have heard things, and I don't want to get into any of that because I don't want to get that guy's name involved. But
yeah,
he had heard some things through the grapevine that I don't want to talk about. So
yeah. That's the thing is you have to kind of have a filter when you're on YouTube and just any kind of media platform because it's names start getting thrown around and then that's
snowball.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We'll do a few more here. I said we'll do another part. We can have Steve on. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
Carrie Smith question there. So that's what we were trying to say a minute ago is that if he really was an informant, they're not going to so here's how the law enforcement part of Texas works. The state troopers is a DPS, Department of Public Safety. They are a subsidiary of the Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers are the ones investigating this entire case. So it'd be like telling on their own people. So, I mean, if it would have been a beat cop, pulled somebody over, different story. These guys are one and of the same. The guy that's investigating, Jason Watts knows him real well. He's talked to him quite a bit. So, but I mean, that's how, I mean, you can look it up. DPS is what we call, that is Department of Public Safety, which is our state troopers. And those Texas Rangers is a division of DPS, Department of Public Safety.
Okay. So there's been a troll in here. I've been noticing that. Thank you, mods, for all you do. Looks like they've been working hard. I don't know. I guess it seems like, Brandon Lawson case, Delphi case, I get him a little bit, but I've noticed Brandon Lawson, it seems like there's always a troll with Brandon Lawson case for some reason, which is weird. So thank you, mods, for all you do. If you see any, let me know.
I was a horrible mod. I was just kicking everyone out.
Yeah. Well, I had to tone it down because I had gotten one complaint. And I've actually only had 2 complaints, and they're not even big complaints. So I'm super proud of the mods. And then awesome. I kind of realized mods. I've had like way too many because I've been adding so many. So I'm like, I gotta tone it down, and then that way I can kind of know who's who and when. So like I said, because I didn't want to make anybody upset that I kind of. It's nothing against taking people up being mods. I noticed I had quite a few that. Yeah. Let's see. Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. So surely, from what I've read, Brandon was a good person. Oh, of course. It looks like he just kind of got caught up in a bad situation.
So Jason Watts at CrimeCon last weekend had said that whenever he was in high school, he was a smaller, skinnier, nerdier kid, and Brandon Lawson actually was I think 2 years older than him. Had intervened and stepped in whenever these kids were picking on him, and that was kind of Jason Watts' drive to say, "Hey, repayment."
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's cool. Unfortunately, I've been so busy, I didn't catch CrimeCon.
If you guys get a chance, YouTube the Brandon Lawson CrimeCon from last weekend on YouTube. The segment where his wife is talking about the person he is. That was. So you can feel her tension and emotion just let go. It's awesome.
Yeah. Here's a good question.
I have a lot of love for him.
Yeah. Tom in. Go ahead, buddy.
Brandon Lawson worked for a guy that I play golf with. I play golf with a guy named Joseph Percival, which was the owner of Renegade Well Services, which is who Brandon worked for at that time. And whenever I'd heard about this story, just something, it's the first time I heard the call, I knew something, because it didn't make any sense for him to leave the truck. You know, you run out of gas, you're going to wait for gas to get there. Simple as that. You're not going to run out.
Right. You had a phone too. You know,
you're not going to run out a mile on a pasture unless you are completely high.
Yeah.
That just didn't make any sense to me. So whenever kind of know someone, things don't make sense. He worked in the oil field. I work in the oil field. Jason Watts works in the oil field. So we all band of bros.
Yeah. And just amazing research, and we'll have another part coming up soon. I've got a few things coming this coming week with the Troy driver case, and then we'll be doing a giveaway this Tuesday. I'm gonna enter everybody in, which will be kind of cool. So everybody will get a chance. As long as you're here for the stream, we'll put everybody's name in, and that'll be this Tuesday, the 10th.
What are we doing for your birthday?
That's Troy Driver. So that's the 10th.
Okay.
So Troy Driver, I think his case is that. So I'm going to do that. And then, so I want to do a giveaway for everybody. So a merchandise. And then usually what I do is whoever wins, instead of I know some channels, they just have a priest, like a mug or something. I usually let people, whoever wins, I say, okay, here's like a $25 limit, which is pretty much most of the items, and then they can pick, so it's not just, here's a sticker or here's a mug, and you already have 10 mugs and you don't need a mug. So
I think I botched my intro at the beginning of this. I meant to say we're live from the Courtyard Marriott in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, well, you know what? We're gonna do a part 4, so you can still do it. Let's see. No, I'm not gonna have Steve on tonight. Right now my PC, like I said, this laptop, as you can tell, has been buffering the last few shows. I'm after this show, this laptop's retiring, and I'm gonna be busting out the new hardware. So
I'm liking the StreamYard. Not bad.
Yeah, it's got its perks, but clearly I have to get. It's something that I don't use a lot, and clearly I've got to learn how to turn stuff on with the audio. But this was great practice. So I guess anything you want to say before we go, Tom?
Yeah, I want to read. I want to read that last part.
Yeah.
The things I know for sure is that in that call, I hear gunshots. I hear other people talking in that call. I hear Brandon say, I got shot. I hear him say, help me. I hear him say he is being chased. His phone was never found. His remains were found in the pasture with no dental DNA. He said he needed the cops. He had called 911. For all these things to align in a 38-second phone call are less likely than winning the lottery. That
Well said.
It's just
Well
too
said.
much coincidence.
Yeah.
For people to say that there was no foul play involved doesn't sit with me.
Yeah. And like I said, I just haven't had as much time because I had a few hiccups today, the last couple of days. So I didn't get to spend as much time preparing today because of the whole issue with my laptop. So that was kind of why the visuals weren't as lined up as I wanted them to. So I apologize, but I still think it was a great show. But we're going to be doing some more testing. Tom is going to be doing some stuff with the shotgun. It's what Steve likes to call control test. I love it. And I am going to be doing a few things as well with the audio and the 911 call and expanding and kind of see if I can kind of present such as the help me, see if I can kind of expand it and see if we can hear it a little better. So, so that'll be coming within a week or so. So we got next week, Troy Driver, the 10th. That's 3 days. Skinwalker Ranch next weekend. And I'll probably do Skinwalker Ranch. And if me and Tom have everything lined up, we could probably do the part 4.
Yeah, I would like to do a part 4, just kind of touch on some of these things and then do the overlay with the shotguns. Hopefully I'll have the test done by then. And we can integrate that with it. So, and
then we could have if Steve wants to come on, and then then we got a lot. Like I said, he always
more the merrier.
And he has a way. Like I said, he has ideas and stuff that he looks at. The way he looks at things that I just like I said, he sends to me all the time. Hey, you should look at it this way, or this is how we would look at it, and it's just like, oh wow. So it's just amazing advice. So, all right, guys, I think we'll end it there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Tom, for coming on. And I appreciate all your hard work you put into this. And
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mob Crew.
All right. See you guys. Have a good night.